Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to have your attention and give them a warm round of applause to welcome Gail, Libby, Melissa, and Ethan. Let's give them a warm round of applause.
The afternoon presents the rain. The stars at night remind me of the time and place. The here and now I'm in again. Every second in my life is like a golden prize, right from the setting sun to its brilliant rise. Treasure every moment, be aware of what you have. Treasure every moment, now and ever. Cherish and be thankful for the sea, the sky and land. I will treasure life to be a better man. Every second in my life is like a golden prize, right from the setting sun to its brilliant rise. Treasure every moment, be aware of what you have. Treasure every moment, now and ever. Cherish and be thankful for the sea, the sky and land. I will treasure life to be a better man.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, can we share a more applause for them? How about that? This is a wonderful, wonderful performance. And this is just a little sneak peek in what's going to happen later on this evening. Alright, so we got really, really wonderful talent that we have in Singapore. Very, very thank you. Alright, so we will continue with tonight's cocktail section. We will be starting the program shortly, so we hope everybody is enjoying themselves. And I understand that today is an alcoholic event. I can see quite a number of friends already holding on to glasses of wine. So just a quick safety message across over here by SDSC. When you drink, don't drive. When you drive, don't drink. Thank you.
I'm gonna try that one more time. Are we good? everyone, and welcome to the 40th anniversary dinner and awards presentation of the Singapore Disability Sports Council. I'm Shuan,
And my name is Edmund. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
and we're very pleased to be your host for the evening. Now, just to let you know, we have a very exciting performances lined up for you. We have some musicians from NUS. We also have a talented 12-year-old girl. We have wheelchair dancers, and we also have a 3-time gold medalist who have somehow found the time to learn how to play the violin. And we have lots of other performances for you, and we're very excited that you're here with us today.
Yeah, we'll definitely like to thank everybody. Take the opportunity to thank our distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, for taking time off your busy schedules to join us this evening on behalf of SDSC. I would like to say a huge thank you and a warm welcome to everybody this evening.
We'll be back later on to begin the program proper. Enjoy yourselves.
Please rise and join us in welcoming our guest of honor, President Tony Tan and Mrs. Tan, and our special guest, Minister Lawrence Wong, Acting Minister for Culture, Community and Youth, and Senior Minister of State, Ministry of Communications and Information.
They're also welcomed by Associate Professor Mohan Menon, President of Singapore Disability Sports Council, and Mr. Sam Tan, Senior Parliamentary Secretary, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Ministry of Culture, Community and Youth. Please be seated, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Also known as the SDSC, and it was founded in 1973. It is the only organization in Singapore that provides sports for people with disabilities.
Well, since its founding, many persons with disabilities have participated in sports activities and programs. And tonight we will also take the opportunity to honor those who have put Singapore on the international sports arena and won medals in their pursuits for excellence.
That is right. Mr. President, sir, and ladies and gentlemen, please sit back and enjoy the photo montage that SDSC has put together to bring us down memory lane.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm pretty sure it brings back lots of fantastic memories, especially 40 years down the road. What a sense of achievement, both personally for the athletes and of course for SDSC nationwide as well for Singapore. Can we have another big round of applause for SDSC and our athletes? Wonderful, wonderful job. Alright, so right now I would like to take the opportunity to invite Associate Professor Mohan Menon to share a few words with our guest this evening. Professor, sir.
Guest of honor, President Tony Tan and Mrs. Mary Tan. Special guest, Acting Minister, Mr. Lawrence Wong, Ministry of Culture, Community and Youth. Distinguished guests, sponsors, athletes, ladies and gentlemen. A very good evening to all of you and a warm welcome to the 40th anniversary celebrations of Singapore Disability Sports Council. 40 years ago, when Singapore was a young nation, most organizations were engaged in nation building. Those were very difficult years, and voluntary welfare organizations like SDSC had challenges of their own. But despite the odds and barriers, our predecessors worked relentlessly to pave the way and reach us where we are today. And where we stand today is an enviable position to be. For today, SDSC has emerged to be the only organization in Singapore that caters to the sporting needs of all disabled Singaporeans. It has also been very, very particular in the way that it offers these services. We apply a three-pronged approach, whereby sports is offered by way of recreation, rehabilitation, and competition. Over the years, we have nurtured and groomed thousands of athletes, many of whom have gone on to become flag bearers and have won medals at elite international competitions, including the Paralympics. Later this evening, we shall honor and recognize the achievements of some of these athletes through the launch of our 2 new award schemes. This evening, I would also like to thank our stakeholders, including the ministries and its agencies, the sponsors, parents, caregivers, volunteers, supporters, in participating in our success thus far. Kindly join me in giving them all a big round of applause. Our past successes alone will not allow us to meet the challenges of the future. That would be like driving a car only looking at the rearview mirror. To consider our challenges, we had our strategy meeting together with our sister organization, Singapore National Paralympic Council, just a couple of weeks ago, where we considered the challenges before us. The main one being, how do we remain relevant going forward? We do not have all the answers, but some of it we do. For one thing, we could continue doing what we did in the past, but that would be a great disservice to our athletes at a time when more needs to be done for their cause. The aspirations of our athletes continue to grow, and their ability to perform continues to evolve, not only because of their hard work, but because of the advent and use of new technologies. Going forward, we agree that we need a national agenda for disabled sports, which would serve as a mission and could be dovetailed into our own strategic objectives. We are very glad that the government has a vision to promote inclusiveness in the sporting community. And in this regard, under the leadership of Acting Minister Mr. Lawrence Wong, concrete steps have already been taken, such as the inclusion of disabled athletes in schemes like the Sport Cares Foundation and SPECS scholarships. Other examples worth citing would be the joint ceremony for the flag presentation last year and the joint launch of the 2015 SEA Games and the Para Games a few days ago. We wish to leverage on this momentum and have even more areas of inclusiveness, especially at the operational level. The second challenge we considered was whether we could organize ourselves better, and that includes the question of efficiencies. It is said that fragmentalization leads to duplication of tasks and efforts, especially of the administrative kind. It's clear that there is room for consolidation. And we have, in a small way, taken the first steps by bringing SDSC and SNPC under one administrative platform. But more needs to be done. Of special interest to us are the National Disability Sports Associations. The NDSAs are analogous to the National Sports Associations in the able-bodied sports. The NDSAs and the NSAs have an important and fundamental role to play in the development and nurturing of our talent pool. However, some of the NDSAs in recent times have become dominant. We wish to revive them, and we propose that at least on a selective basis, some of the NDSAs be brought under the wings of the NSAs. We see merit in this model, not only because you can achieve synergies but also because it will enable us to build a platform where able-bodied athletes and disabled athletes belonging to the same sport can play, learn, share, and grow together. That for us would be a sterling example of how inclusiveness can be practiced at the operational level. There is a perception out there that achieving success and winning accolades and medals in para sports is easier than than able-bodied sports. For those who have witnessed our athletes train and compete, and here may I add and include Acting Minister Mr. Lawrence Wong and Senior Parliamentary Secretary Sam Khan, both of whom have spent considerable amount of time with our athletes in recent months. And they will join me in confirming that nothing could be further from the truth. Nevertheless, this perception, or should I say misperception, exists. We need to correct it, and that's our next challenge. The only way to change the mindset is through education and publicity. One way of increasing awareness is through the use of media. And by this, I'm referring to all forms of media: television, radio, newsprint, magazines, social media, what have you. We have observed that the publicity for disabled sports in general and the profiling of our athletes in particular needs to be stepped up. But the manner in which this should be approached should not be event-driven, nor should be designed around a particular competition. What would work is if the initiative were a year-round campaign. Not only will this go a long way in boosting the way in which we approach sports, but it will also go in making sure that we continue to be an inclusive society. Clearly, publicity will also increase the level at which our spectatorship will be rendered at some of these events. The challenges I have cited are not without solutions. They can be overcome. And in this context, I'd like to quote a quote from our Prime Minister while he was addressing the students at NTU on January 28th this year. He was responding to the question as to whether Singapore will continue to be successful in the next 50 years. He said, and I try to quote, "We have many more resources today than before. We are starting off from a much better position than we were in. It would be a crime not to make it work," unquote. I am convinced and confident that if we all work together, we will be able to overcome the challenges before us. In closing, I would like to thank President Tony Tan and Mrs. Mary Tan for gracing this event, our special guest, Mr. Lawrence Wong, for taking the time to be with us here today, Dr. Ho, President of the Singapore Contractors Association Limited, and all other affiliates from the construction industry, thank you for your support and sponsorship. I would also like to say thanks to my fellow board member and the chairman of the organizing committee, Mr. Eugene Yong, for his generosity and leadership. A heartfelt gratitude to all our sponsors, past and present, for all your support, and I hope that you will continue to partner us in our future endeavors. Thanks also to my fellow board members for your kind counsel and guidance and allowing me to serve. I'd also like to say thanks to our team at SDSC under the leadership of Henry Tan for all the hard work they have done behind the scenes. Finally, do join me in saying 3 cheers to our sporting heroes of the past and present and the nation's hopes for the future. Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! Thank you, and do enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thank you, Associate Professor Menon, for that very encouraging speech. Congratulations to the SDSC on all your previous achievements, and in true sportsman spirit, we look forward to seeing you beat your personal best. And it's not just about winning more medals, but creating a more inclusive society. And now we would like to invite our special guest, Mr. Lawrence Wong, Minister for Culture, Community and Youth, and Senior Minister of State, Ministry of Communications and Information, to say a few words.
President Tony Tan and Mrs. Mary Tan, Mr. Sam Tan, Senior Parliamentary Secretary, Associate Professor Mohan Menon, President of SDSC, Team Singapore athletes, parents, volunteers, officials, sponsors and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very happy to be with you here tonight to celebrate the 40th anniversary of the Singapore Disability Sports Council, or the SDSC. As you heard just now from Mohan himself, and also when you saw from the video clip, over the last 40 years, SDSC has been steadfast in advancing disability sport in Singapore. You have provided people with disabilities the opportunity to participate, train, and excel in para sports. You have helped to prepare our para-athletes and to raise the standards of disability sports. So on this milestone of your 40th birthday, let me once again thank everyone in SDSC, the board members, management, the staff, as well as the many volunteers. Thank you for your commitment and passion in the work that you do. The government is committed to providing more support for disability sports. And in fact, this is a key part of our vision for Singaporeans to live better through sports. As some of you would recall, in 2011, we had a major exercise where we gathered all our stakeholders to chart out our long-term direction for sport in Singapore. And one key theme that emerged from our discussions was sports without boundaries. In other words, we want sports to be inclusive, with opportunities for all to participate. We want all Singaporeans to be able to experience the benefits of an active and healthy lifestyle through sports. And since then, MCCY, my ministry, and the Singapore Sports Council have been working hard to realize these goals. For example, we are setting up new sports centers as part of our sports facility master plan. Sports centers across the island with access for all to be able to make use of these facilities. We are expanding the suite of sport programs for all ages and all abilities through Active SG, which is a new movement that we are initiating, which we hope will be eventually a national movement for sports in Singapore. And we are also building up the Sport Cares Foundation, which is a movement which will leverage on the power of sport to reach out to the disadvantaged and vulnerable members of our society. And with these initiatives and programs, we can and we will progressively break down the barriers that often prevent people with disabilities from participating in sports. We will build more physical access to our facilities, such as ramps or swimming pools. We will start to build up and hold a central stock of specialized equipment that may be required for training. And we will also work with our partners to enhance outreach to all Singaporeans. Our aim is to provide Singaporeans of all abilities with the opportunity to participate in sports. I think this is a goal which we all share, and it's a common goal which we can all work towards. One major catalyst to move things forward is the ASEAN Para Games in December next year. This is the first time that Singapore is hosting the Para Games, so it's a major milestone for our nation and also for para sports in Singapore. And we will do all that we can to ensure a successful and impactful games. MCCY will set up an organizing committee, which I will chair, and I've asked Senior Parliamentary Secretary Sam Tan to be the Deputy Chair. We are still in the process of identifying and inviting people to the committee, as well as to join us in all the various organizational teams and volunteer teams to help host this event. So if we approach you, please say yes and join us in shaping this historic event for Singapore. For our para-athletes, I'm sure the Games will be a very special one, because it's a chance to compete on our home ground in front of a home crowd. We've recently launched our campaign for the SEA Games and the ASEAN Para Games. The theme is Celebrate the Extraordinary. I think it's a very good tagline for the SEA Games. It's even more appropriate for the Para Games, because what our para-athletes do is truly extraordinary. All our para-athletes have to overcome many challenges to compete at a high level. In fact, I saw our para-athletes in action recently in Myanmar, and I saw them in boccia, in football, swimming, table tennis, track and field. Across all these different sports, our athletes showed tremendous courage, grit, and determination. Every one of you has a story to tell, and each of your stories is an inspiration to Singaporeans. You have shown us how sports can uplift not just yourselves, but those around you. So we salute all our para-athletes for your efforts. Congratulations and well done. I think they deserve another round of applause. I also want to recognize the people who have contributed behind the scenes to support our para-athletes. And again, I got a first-hand experience of that when I was in Myanmar recently. Because for our para-athletes to start preparing for the games, they really need a whole cast of supporting team to help them and work with them, waking up early, making a lot of preparations for them. So I want to take this opportunity tonight to also thank all our volunteers, caregivers, team managers, supporters, friends and families for your devotion to our athletes. It is your